my Positive Perspective Internet show today, where we feature individuals and businesses who share the common goal of improving the local Charleston community. Today's episode is brought to you by Advent Designs. For website and logo creation, Advent Designs is definitely a good way to go for your company. My guest today is Gordon Cashwell. So how you doing, Gordon?
Good.
Good, good. And Gordon and I share a hobby, I guess, or a purpose that we're driven about. I mentioned that I enjoy speaking at school symposiums because it allows me to reach out to students and tell them what happens with the good things that happen when you keep fighting and you just let you let everything take care of itself, and you just keep fighting and keep rolling with the punches. And Gordon, like myself, speaks to children and students. So maybe you could talk a little bit about that.
Awesome. Well, thank you.
Sure.
I appreciate it. We've just been really, really excited, and I think you could concur that when you're able to give, it just warms your heart more than people giving to you.
Yeah.
So being involved in these kind of things is really wonderful. And it's the kids and the adults that we run into. We have a ministry center in the inner city of Charleston, and what happens, whether they're kids or adults, a lot of them have had catastrophic things happen to them. Mm-hmm. And what happens when that happens is it can be paralyzing. They can get into unforgiveness. They can get into fear. Mm-hmm. They can get into bitterness. They can get into depression. They can get into trying to medicate through drugs and things.
Mm-hmm. And alcohol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, not persevering, just basically quitting. You could be alive, but you could be like the living dead. You know what I'm saying? And right. So, part of what we've been able to see, that's I think the most rewarding of what we've been able to do, is to see people's lives blossom again after that.
Sure.
And it's just amazing.
Yeah. And when you can improve a life and it gives you a whole lot of satisfaction from what you've done. What's your overall message when you're speaking to somebody who's been through something? Do you immediately involve Christ in that, or do you hold off and wait on that, or how do you do that?
A lot of it's listening, and some of it, like we have parties and events, and people come. Usually, they're really, really hurting. Like there was one guy he had been grown up without a family, basically, and was raised by some of his family members, but was very young age, was kind of left on his own, and got into stealing, got into drugs, got into heroin, and struggled with addiction and homelessness. And he was at his wit's end. He was suicidal and went to a church. And basically, because he had been living on the streets, he didn't smell good, he didn't look good, didn't know how to act in church, and so they kicked him out. And then he heard that he could get a ham if he came to a thing that we were having, and he was going to get a ham to sell it for drugs. But he listened to the message, and it interested him. And then we just take time. He came back, and so we assigned him to somebody who would meet with him once a week if he wanted to. And a lot of it was just him discovering some of the pains and hurts, and also gaining like your show is about a positive perspective on life through the Bible, through God, and just through good teaching. And he was able to overcome wanting to medicate himself, and he was able to overcome some of these other things. And then he started to think positive. What is my call? What can I do? And he got a job with AutoZone Traveling Building for about 7 years, and he retired. He became our head usher in our church.
That's great.
And we're doing gardening with us with the kids, and he's just excited about life, excited about service, and just to see someone's life like that change. But he had to overcome some insecurities, fears, hurts, and doubts and whatever that had been thrown on him through his whole childhood,
Yeah, and I think when people have to look past those things, that they really did nothing to deserve. Really, I mean, they didn't do anything wrong, and that's one of the things that's so hurtful, I think. And it makes it hard to look beyond. But when you sit them down and they're able to kind of discuss the hurt in their lives, and then they're a lot more likely to be able to move past that.
That's right. Exactly. We had one young lady who her mother would have different men come, and some of them sexually abused her, and her mom knew they were doing it, but never did anything about it, and she had a lot of bitterness and hurt, and that entered into her relationship with any authority that she had at her job. She couldn't keep a job, she couldn't keep relationships. But once she began to get that positive perspective of forgiveness, of overcoming her fear, knowing that God was going to be there for her, protect her, guard her, plus having someone to be sort of a father figure to her to help her to learn life and to enforce some of these things with her, helped her. Now she's married, she's got a job, she's in college, and she's doing very well.
That's good.
And
That's
has her family, and that's years of working. But I just see that as a life that the enemy, in my eyes, is the devil try to just take her and destroy her life. And to see her be able to escape from that, that's very exciting.
Yeah, that really is, and it speaks a lot to the person about not being a victim, not letting herself become a victim. And even though negative things happen to you, if you don't let yourself be a victim, just keep fighting, and then just hope that the next day will be better than the one that is today, and that's really great to hear success stories like that, and I'm certainly planning on continuing my involvement with schools and school symposiums and my message to students, and I hope you'll continue your good work with the citizens of Charleston County as well.
Definitely, and I appreciate you so much. You're serving others and serving me in your leadership by having this show, and thanks.
Yeah, okay, great. Well, thanks, Gordon.
All right.
Thanks. All right, well, thank y'all for tuning into My Positive Perspective. Don't forget my radio show is on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 p.m. Thanks, and have a great day.
On a sunny day, I feel my thoughts drift away. Only good vibes and good times living in my brain. On a sunny day, catch me lamping in the shade, feeling so fine and so high. Oh, my sunny day, still I hope all my efforts will one day pan out. The love within you'll never be without, so I roll, feeling strong and so invincible.